On a count, can you count down?
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
Oh, no. You try to make it hard. You can't start doing done. You can't start doing, you know, second. Breaks up, you have to take.
And I was in neutral, not indifferent, but okay.
And we will have a collision review from our wonderful people on the Vibe Tribe doing that as well. So you'll know all about it if you don't get to see it. I'll tell you.
You'll hear about it.
But then, yeah, Sammy Guevara comes down, does a little promo with Renee, talks about how he's having a girl because they're talking about their baby all the time. He's getting booze. And Darby Allin appears, who is your favorite person to always come down every week.
We were talking about this. We were texting during the matches. I like Darby Allin. I'm not enthralled and jumping up and down for Darby Allin. I really want to like Darby Allin more. Like Darby Allin seems like the friends I had in high school. But there's a part of me that's, great. But then it also is like, really want to be friends with those friends I had in high school. Some of them, yeah. Darby Allin one? I don't know. Like, I really want to like Darby Allin more. Mic work is coming along, but always comes off as cheap.
He's also given the problem of being either the street manager before the story along versus actually growing his character other than he's sincere. And that happened in this one as well because it was just kind of like pumping Sammy up, saying you're good, trying to get him to turn. They name Chris Jericho, and he appears as he is a wizard.
That's what Chris Jericho's good at. Did you say my name? I'm walking down the ramp. Here we go. Okay, Chris Jericho's here with it.
And he didn't just walk down the ramp. He strutted down the ramp in his orange, sparkly-ass lifted heels.
Which later we know exactly why, because Sting also appeared. And Chris Jericho needs to be seen as eye level with Sting, or else it speaks too much to the character of each of those wrestlers.
Exactly. And they've set up a tag match for next week on Dynamite for Sting and Darby, supposedly with Sammy and Chris, although Chris really elated Sammy. What's going on here? We need to get back in the fold, and Sammy's going for that tweeter roll, so we'll see what happens.
Did you like the Schwartz is bigger than mine, back to the neck moment that we had? Or what? It could go either way.
I mean, I liked it better than the fencing, where you could hear the ping of the bat again. Yeah.
There's something to grown men friending each other with softball bats. I'm not sure how I feel.
Two men in their 50s and 60s threatening each other with schoolyard baseball bats, and also the same color. It's just...
There's a part of you that's like, this is brooding and cool, but then there's also a part of you that's, wait, was that a softball bat? Okay.
It's bigger in the shaft, so obviously it looks better on camera, but either way.
That's true for many in industry, but we can't say that joke on this show. And that we
get us demonetized. And a match started right afterwards. A match just started afterwards where the Mogul Embassy...
So something that's interesting is AEW does this a lot, where they go promo right into the thing. There's no in between.
Yeah. Keeping that momentum going.
Gear shift for me, because I'm not... I think that's great. I think sometimes it really works. This one totally floored me, because I looked away for a second, and all of a sudden it was like, it's happening. No, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
They gave the Mogul Embassy the jobber entrance, which was, it was like cut back from commercial and they were already in the ring. So we missed Brian Cage in his Sting glory. It's like Surfer Sting mixed with Chris Benoit, which was a little...
I have a soft spot for Brian Cage just because he's from the town that I teach in up here, California. Local hero. He's an ant. He moves like an ant. I've not seen him with the face paint before. Is this a new Brian Cage?
This was because he was fighting Sting. Pretty sure that's why he put it on. Usually he's in like trunks and just the mohawk, but this was to like really get... Apparently, like they were saying on commentary, there was like a thing with him and Sting going back and forth online, and he's trying to get in his head. So that was that thing on there, but it was them versus Sting, Darby Allin, and Keith Lee, who you had never seen before, and Orange Cassidy, the best wrestler ever this year.
I think Orange Cassidy is still all of our picks for 2 or 3 wrestlers of the year. Orange Cassidy, fantastic work. I did not know a lot about Lee's work. You sent me a clip from NXT way back, and I recognized that clip from one. So that was my bridge of that's the Sand, that's the guy. Okay, so I put those things together.
Finally stopped him from dyeing his hair.
Yeah, looks great, Salt and Peppery. You're totally selling it. He got to keep his hair. My headset's falling off because I don't have any.
You got more if you want. Yeah. I think John froze. This could be interesting for Mikey and all of us. I'll keep us going here as we're talking. Hopefully John comes back on, or it could be my internet. I have no idea. But this match, we have him back. We have him back.
You here?
Are you there?
You were gone.
And you were gone. This is going to be interesting for OBS.
Oh, good luck editing this, bug. We're talking about how cool he is.
Yes. And that he basically took over this match once he got in.
Absolutely. The trend now is the massive 4-on-4 on threes, and we'll get into another one in just a minute. This one worked for me. Sometimes it's just a cluster bleep, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, but like, this was fun. Got this on display.
If there's one thing I can say, the Mogul Embassy were all amazing workers, as was the other team as well, even with Sting and protecting Sting the way they were, with the finisher being awesome, getting the orange punch into the death drop. But they know how to work a match around that, and they have the right people involved. This was, again, picked that ball right back up after the lull from the promo and went back right into high gear. Again, up from AEW. That was amazing. Not that I'm Simon Miller. Oh, we lost your audio there. Sorry.
Am I back? I'm still here?
You're back. You're
I
here.
love you, Simon Miller. We're just shitting up Simon Miller all the time.
I'm wearing his merch. Come on. Ending sequence, orange punch with the bad hand into the Scorpion Death Drop. Really good way to end that match. And again, brings us back to high gear. And off we go.
And then Renee interviews again back.
Which is, sure, there's brothers tag teams in here, but not the Lucha Bros. You want the Hardys. But I did say one thing. One thing that came through was they're acting like Billy and Chuck from WWE, and I'm here for it. Kind of dumb, weird heel. Just looking where their dad is. I think that's perfect.
Good point. I'll tell you. I haven't seen a lot of them anyway, so just from a pure carny point, show me something. Okay, yeah. That moving on. Wardlow and Jake Hager. This Wardlow Arn Anderson thing. There's moments when it really works, and then moments where I'm like, that's a grandpa yelling at his grandson. There's moments where some of them, you don't do enough. I think you're going to be great. So, what this cookie thing? And
it's also weird that he's using the same movement that Kenny Omega uses and all the Young Bucks do with the bang.
I don't know. That could be an inside joke between all of them.
Probably.
Solid match. Again, hard to. Bar was set so high, everything kind of feel a little muted. But this was still a good match, I think. Something fun to watch. It set us up for the strange Arn Anderson horror movie reveal at the end.
With the consummate AEW audio issues that they had with the promo.
So Christian's got to fire his sound guy. He's got to stop using his own sound guy for these things. Christian had a thing when I saw him in San Francisco. I had a thing a few weeks ago when I was watching. Why?
Ugh. See, because it's Christian and they feel he can just carry it by looking like he's in this. Also, Luchasaurus is probably roaring. Who knows? Just blowing the levels.
Luchasaurus is an interesting. It can go either way with that character. But
he hasn't really been given a push that he needs for what he's capable. But they will get there, hopefully. They bloodied Arn Anderson. Brock Anderson came back from his beating from Luchasaurus to be able to save them. And there was the schmoz, the JS, because Jake Hager, however, not the worst thing in the world. And the distraction made sense. The fighting made sense. Again, like you said, really good in the middle. So it's a good kind of like middle point.
Absolutely. And it's maybe this is just the horror movie guy in me, but a bloody old man on the steps, obviously trying to escape back up the steps while the two folks are giving a promo.
Got to stay in frame.
Arn, run away. Just run away. Just run.
At his age, I don't think he can run anymore.
Although that would be an interesting wink to the camera and then just crawl up the steps. I'm going to leave now. Look.
Oh, God. Arn Anderson crawling. That'd be a visual and a half.
Or Arn. I'm just glad he could stand after having his spine refused and disc shoulder thing. I'm just glad he's getting a check.
He needs it.
Yeah, no, hey, take all the money.
So then we had a video package with Horseshoe Tanahashi, or Hiroshi Tanahashi as he's really named, saying that he wants a shot at MJF for the title at Forbidden Door. That would be an amazing match. That would be so good, especially with Tanahashi, like one of his last big ones he can do on Americans. I think that could work. And Renee runs right from her thing where she actually talks to, she's running right over there. She's on with MJF, telling him what just happened. MJF, the classic heel, says, fuck no.
So because it's
oh my,
everything that makes it cute. It's gonna be great.
It's like what they're doing at WWE with Kevin Owens, where it's like they're calling out the background things. Like, no, I don't have to say yes to this. I'm not going to. No one's ever thought not to say yes. So this is perfect. But then Renee had her running shoes on because she goes right from there, right outside and finds Cassidy for another one there. And I love that he lampshaded. Whenever I talk to you, Renee, someone ends up challenging for this title. So I'm assuming it's going to happen at some point. And Zack Sabre Jr., who's standing off camera, comes right in.
And I love that the commentary on these camera tropes is coming up, which tells me that the rest are in on it, which tells me maybe someday we'll do something different. Maybe we'll finally see something different as opposed to instantly on screen. Now walked on screen. You were there. That can do better.
I'm watching a TV at an odd angle just so you can see my face.
My peripheral vision is so bad. Oh, you're right there. Orange
that set up a match between Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre Jr. at Forbidden Door. Again, cannot wait for that. That is going to be an insane clinic.
Which is so good. And I'll be here next week. How about you guys? And we'll see you. I'll see you guys. And just walks away.
What? And I'm excited, being the fan that I am, to have Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia, two of the best technicians out there, versus Shibata and Orange Cassidy, who are going to basically take them to. It's going to be amazing. Do not miss next week's. That's a highlight for me. I hope that's the main event. Probably won't.
Probably should be, but probably won't.
So then we move on to the only women's match, as per usual with AEW, on the card, because the women can't hold down more than one segment. I'm being facetious. Tony Khan booked the frickin' women.
Come on, Tony.
But we had a very awesome match.
Talking about a little bit before, this guy blew a jobber a lot of the time for other folks, and this was a really good showcase of what Sky Blue can do. Didn't know a lot. I don't think I'd seen her in the ring before. Lots of fun. It's great tactician. Lots of calling moves and moving around. That was her mom that got hit in the face. That got sprayed in the face.
Spray painted, yep. And then, of course, the smart babyface. But the smart babyface move, always going against, you're going to get beaten by the heels, having her own spray paint and taking it to Toni Storm. She gave her a run for money, and I'm sorry, Toni Storm also ended the match with one of my favorite moves ever, other than the sharpshooter, is the Texas Clover Relief. I'm so glad that's being used. Great way to get that there. Because Sky Blue kicked out of Storm Zero. Tony kicked out of the Code Blue, which is basically Code Red, which is a Canadian destroyer.
I like seeing submissions in wrestling creep back in. There was a time where that was a thing, and then it did come around, and then, of course, Ronda Rousey made it look submission, but there's something cool about seeing them. Yeah.
Well, for me, setting up this way, too, like, we've used our finishers. We're not working here. We've now just got to break them. I can't fit with my finisher. I've got to break you with a hole. Awesome way to show Sky Blue lose in a very strong way. Like, she did everything she could. And she got stuck there because of the nose.
And what's starting to this might just be me, and folks have an opinion, but lose by submission and almost seen as you did everything you could to get pinned. I had to break your bones to get this, as opposed to you pinned, you lost. Or around starting to simmer. Did you see the fan catch that spray paint? Made a great.
Oh my God. That he's getting drafted over the Nationals at this point, basically. Like, they need somebody to catch in the outfield.
Do the Nationals need somebody right now?
Everybody needs somebody right now. Then after that, we had a bit of a schmoz. Obviously, the Outcast beat down Sky Blue. And out comes Willow Nightingale to save the day, which sets up hopefully a tag match, I think, either at Forbidden Door or it could be on ROH, because both Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue are on ROH. It could be tomorrow night. I don't know yet.
Tomorrow night?
I have to watch tomorrow night because I'm doing a review of that. It'll be me and Mike.
Maybe I'll check in.
That's for another podcast.
I'm going to talk too much. We don't have a lot of time. And then we jump over to the Jungle Hook promo. Which, I don't know why it's called Jungle Hook. You pick Jungle Hook.
Would you rather it be called Hook?
Or Jungle? Or Jungle of Hooks? Or, I don't know. Just Jungle Hook to me. I'm like, please. Okay. We were talking about this a little bit. But I say this kindly because I don't want to be an acting teacher. You do a lot of theater. You do a lot of theater. I've seen some fantastic performances. I really want to see the boy get on the microphone and start to really settle in and relax into these promos. Really forcing it sometimes when it's just, hey, take a breath here now, as opposed to, I got this thing I'm going to say to you, and then his face kind of freezes. I'm not listening to him anymore. Particularly next to Hook, in this segment where Hook is just so relaxed. I know I'm not talking, so I'm just going to breathe and wait to sound, and that's it. That's his more.
And in this case, it would have been a lot more too, because Jungle Boy accepted Sonata's open challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Forbidden Door, which, because of the promo and because of what's going on, I'm not as excited for. It kind of really just took it down for me as that's going to be the mid-card match of Forbidden Door, which is terrible. And they're trying to set up the seeds of deceit and deception with Hook, with Jungle Boy for later on in the year, which are going to turn on each other and go after each other. Jungle Boy needed to have a little bit of fire to do that. And he seemed like, I need to get this out and I'm part of this.
Which is unfortunate. A little
bit of downer. But then Bryan Danielson comes out and joins the commentary table for our main event. So this was just complete schmoz. Like, tag klaxon went off early. People were at each other's throats. And we're not allowed to say this now. They couldn't say that on the Chiron because if somebody at TNT or TBS got upset, they were called the Hung Bucks because all that stuff. But it was Blackpool Combat Club versus the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page, otherwise known as the Hung Bucks. From the entrance and outset, I knew having Danielson in the commentary was going to be fun because they're all the whole thing of what we're doing, how hard we have to work, we don't give up, all that stuff. And the Hung Bucks come out to the Elite's new thing, which is Wayward Son by Kansas, which kind of threw me a bit because I'm like, I know he's part of the Elite, but he's also got his ties to the Dark Order, so why would you use the Elite stuff when you have Hangman Page there? You could do something else. Either way, they came out all in cowboy gear. Literally, it was a spot fest from like minute one.
Great moments in there. Diving lariats, top ropes, and fun stuff. John Moxley doing the, oh my God, my elbow's broken again. Then immediately using that same hand to tag.
Oh, yeah.
I
loved his move of like turning around. Oh, yeah, I can hurt people here. Let's put a choke on. I haven't done that the whole match. But it came down to, and this is actually, I like the storytelling of this, like Wheeler Yuta has been on a roll. He's won every match within the last couple of weeks. He has been the heart and soul of the Blackpool Combat Club. Like they're promoting, like Wheeler as the weakest link of the group is really strong. And he's doing this good on Yuta, all this stuff. Yuta eats the pin after getting completely blasted by everybody in the ring into a buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3, sets that down. And then things started to go wrong. Beat down, kicking people's butts. All that type of stuff. Who comes down to make the save? Eddie Kingston? Which is like Eddie Kingston saving the Elite and Hangman Page, which makes no sense, but he's really ticked off. He just wanted to beat the crap out of Claudio Castagnoli because they hate each other with a fiery passion. So setting that up, and I love then the turn of, I'm in love with John Moxley. That's my teammate. He didn't want people to hit John Moxley and wanted to be with him. So
that was, that was a good. Again, I admit that I'm catching up on Dynamite because it's been a weird last few months. I remember Kingston and Moxley being cool with each other.
Yeah, they were the best of friends.
They were the best of friends, and then I hadn't seen Kingston in a while, and then he jumps in there, and there's this really cool moment of the two of them seeing each other. They don't want to fight, and they don't want to fight. We don't want to do it, and then it just collapses in on itself. Cool storytelling. But I don't,
which will be lovely.
I don't know enough. I'm intrigued. I'm like, I want to know what the hell that's all about. Because I have to watch it next week. Okay, great.
And then, of course, you get, right after that, you get the second best booze in the business for Dominic Mysterio. Konosuke Takeshita comes running down to beat up the Elite and beat up Eddie Kingston. So that could be a cool match down the line, get Kingston and Takeshita going, and then Don Callis waltzes his way down. And Bryan Danielson's all about this type of stuff. So Konosuke is beating the crap out of him, beating the crap out of him, being great. Who shows up next, John?
And then Kenny Omega runs down to the ring and jumps in there and causes all Kenny Omega trouble.
I love the wait. He's waiting for someone to pop. I'm waiting for someone to get me. I can't do my full taunt. Here it comes. and he's watching his eyes and then set up for the match that is going to basically be the best match on the card. Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay jumps out. I'm a little behind on all these names and these folks. I was looking at Will Ospreay highlights earlier last week. And, like, just going, this dude's incredible. And the surprise to me was, oh, you're on Dynamite. And then being reminded, yeah, he's wrestling with John. Oh, see this? That's right.
It's another dream match from their Wrestle Kingdom fight really in January. And Ospreay literally was the guy that took over for Kenny Omega when he left New Japan as the gaijin who could do all that stuff.
Which is
They have been doing this the whole time, but he comes in, hits not only the Hidden Blade, but his other big finisher, the Storm. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Storm Zero, but something else. And which he hasn't done in a while because he had major back issues. Pulls that out for this, sets it up, and I loved Danielson getting up off of commentary and giving Ospreay a standing ovation. That was perfect. And that's how you left the show. So overall, one of their best showings probably in 6 months, at least in my estimation, because I've been watching it before we did this. This was edge of your seat, kept you going. I wish that there could have been a better little setup with a promo, and I wish there had been like one more women's match, not two more. Honestly, Tony Khan, you need to set up a women's show because you have so many talented women that need to be doing this. Hopefully Collision has 2 women or 3 women matches.
And what's tough in these weekly shows is that there's always that downshift at minute 45 and 50, right? There's always that sort of, where are we going to, how do we get from Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3 shifty bit? That's always hard. Unless you're WWE and you're just beating us over the head with stuff. AEW sometimes finds a way out of it. Even this one was still watching, but now you have a 30-minute, stuff's going to fall flat no matter what you try to do. Okay, dude, we talked about that. Are we good? I think we're missing anything. That feels good to me.
I will say, the standard of this, I want to watch next week. I want to come back and follow it. That is the biggest thing I can say.
Yeah. And that was, I don't want to say that. It could be content. I'll say it like that. I've watched a lot of AEW, not consistently, but I've been watching it as much as I can. And when I consume it, it might be the first time in a long time where I was like, oh, see, to watch. I need to see the next thing or the rest of that makes sense. Opposed to other promotion shows or things. I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. Oh yeah, I missed it for a while. Get right back up. When in a boiling point, it's like, oh yeah, I need to know. Oh, see, well, I gotta check.
That makes sense anyways, because now you and I, as the Dynamite duo here on the Vibe Tribe, are going to be watching this every week. So join us next time and we can give you our points of view. A lot of times it's going to be a lot of stuff about the theatricality, the bad promos, and what the hell's happening, because that's where we live.
This one had a Shakespeare ending to it for anyone who gets the joke. Reveal after reveal. Oh no, I'm this person. Actually, me. Actually, this one is this one. His brother. We're the young lovers. This had the same ending. Where was the sort of, someone else is here. He's there. We're the fresh one. Do we give it a grade? Do you want to grade it? What would you grade it?
I would grade this one probably. Oh God! Now because everyone's doing numbers, I don't know if I do. I would give it at least a solid A-. A- on my book.
Yeah. I'll go A-. I'll go 94%. Sure. In the sense that there is no A and there is no perfect.
Yeah, there's no A+ to me. There's always an A, but it was definitely one of the best ones this year.
Absolutely. I am John, affectionately known as the Professor.
I am John, affectionately known as JVL.
There's no interesting segue there. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Dynamic Duo. We're Dynamite. Yeah, that's us.
We're the Dynamite Duo.
Here on Biconics Wrestling Podcast, part of Vibe Tribe Productions. We will see you next week.
Check out our other stuff.
Yeah, check out our other stuff and then come see that.